Welcome to episode 3. I talked with Ritia Karati today, a friend of mine who's been in the industry for about 15 years. She brings a perspective of a young woman in the industry and the struggles that come with that, and how she works on setting boundaries between her work and her personal life and the things that ground her. You'll find this one a little bit lighter and funnier than the ones that we've done before. Hopefully you'll find in this conversation tools that Ritia shares with us how to recognize when the body tells you that you're being burnt out. But also you'll find the perspective of things that are definitely not okay, but they're still happening today, that are causing a lot of the burnout and a lot of the stress that we see, particularly in women in our industry. So join me in Mind Middleware so we have these conversations, we continue normalizing these conversations about mental health, about burnout, about the toll that it takes to work in this industry. And by no means I think that this is only in our industry. By no means I'm saying that our industry is worse than others or better than others. I just think that we need to talk more. And that's my mission. My mission is to talk as much as we can about mental health, normalizing these conversations, making people understand that vulnerability is not weakness, that not being okay, it's okay. Come on, join me in this conversation. Hey everyone, I am here today joined by Ritia, a really good friend of mine, and someone that I had the pleasure to work with. And we are here at Mind Middleware. I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health in the tech industry and what it means for Ritia and her journey. So let's delve into it. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you. So I usually start with the same question for everybody.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about your human doing? What is it that you do that people know you for in a work environment or realm?
Sure. I work in the technology sales realm. My career has tended to centralize around multinational vendors. At the moment, I'm at an organization called NetApp, which is an intelligent data infrastructure company. So I work with customers around New Zealand to optimize their virtualization, increase their data usage, making sure they can optimize whatever they're trying to do with AI, which is all very data centric at the moment, and also helping them move between public cloud and private cloud, so to have a full hybrid multi-cloud strategy, I guess. But all of that has kind of been culminating through all my experiences over the last kind of 15 years working in infrastructure.
How did you get there?
I started out after university in sales roles. I think the one prior to me getting into technology was at a sports organisation, and I was doing sales there for a team that had come 10th, 11th, 10th. So trying to sell sponsorship for a team that wasn't really performing that well was very difficult.
It's about the passion.
Yeah, exactly. But it was enjoyable, but working really, really hard. And then I saw a role come up for a product manager at HP in Auckland. I was living in Wellington at the time. Put my hand up for that. One of my family members knew somebody that was working there, so they put a call in and said, my daughter's going to apply. If she looks all right, please interview her. So they did. I interviewed okay. I got offered the job, and then I've been in IT ever since, and that was about 15 years ago.
So that's not a short period, like 15 years. And we all tend to be in the same industry, most of us, for that long anyways. Do you feel you're the same person then to now? And if not, what are the changes that you saw in yourself?
I think, like many of the youths I see coming through, I came in really hot, thinking that I knew exactly how things worked. I knew better, and I had good opinions that I could offer, and I think that's definitely softened over time.
Okay.
I can now recognise that I don't know everything, and listening to other people was better most of the time. But at the same time, I think I've hardened in a lot of ways, where I was maybe a bit of a nicer person back then.
You were nicer?
I think so.
Right.
Maybe in a more naive kind of way, but I'm definitely firmer in boundaries than I was previously.
And tell me, so that being naive and believing in people and believing in the goodness of people, and that they come in with the best of intentions, which most of them do. How did that affect you at the beginning of that career? And did you feel the stress of it, or did you feel the pressure of having to perform, thinking that you are all this thing, all those things, and then slowly maturing into, oh, maybe, I need to learn still.
No, it's I think it was difficult at the time because I didn't recognize it for what it was. And so I would put my hand up to do a lot of extra things, and then you kind of get to become that person that they rely on, not unfairly, but you've just kind of put yourself in that position, and now now you're the go-to one. That goes over and above what you're required to do, over and above the hours that you should be putting in every week. I guess that's the luxury you have before you have a family, that you've got spare time. You kind of dedicate it to your work and trying to be better. And I remember I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd finish work at maybe 10 o'clock at night, which was just not sustainable at all, and not something that I would ever accept for myself or for anybody in my team now. But again, when you're a bit younger and you've got the time and you've got the energy, and people can pass things off to you, just kind of pick them up and carry them with you, and you keep going. But yeah, over time you definitely realise that that's not sustainable and you shouldn't be doing that.
And did you at any point recognize that was what you were doing, and then that was burning you out? Was
Definitely.
burnout a thing at all?
I didn't, again, recognise it for what it was, but I think that's where I learned that I physically manifest my stress.
Oh.
So like if I'm stressed, you can see eczema flare-ups, insomnia starts to kick in, and you start feelings of like anxiety or stress, and then you're just kind of working yourself into the ground. It's just so unhealthy. So for me, you could see that I was doing too much and not looking after myself, and that I think was the first time that it ever really happened to me. And then I kind of got better, and then it happened again. I started to figure out there was a pattern here, and then started to really concentrate on putting firm boundaries in place around what I was doing. You can actually achieve what you need to achieve in a day within work hours. You don't need to be working 3 work days in one day. And then, some stuff, not everything is urgent. I think there's a saying, I don't know who came up with it, but it was, your emergency is not my emergency, or like your urgent requirement is not my responsibility. So people come to me like, this is really urgent, and I'd jump on, oh, this is very important, and you do everything you can, get yourself into a tizzy trying to sort it out. But then you start to actually look at it and go, okay, this is genuinely urgent, this isn't, this can wait till tomorrow, this can wait an hour, this can take a week. And then you start to really prioritise based on how it fits in with your own schedule rather than other people's priorities, and then you can start to kind of structure your day around what actually needs to happen, not other people's pressures.
That's such a great insight, before I forget, because I'm that unstructured, before I forget, there's a question that I ask everyone, and you're not getting away with not answering this question. If you could define your relationship with work with a metaphor or an analogy, what would that be?
very not good at creative thinking.
Oh. No, I'm going to stop you all right there. This is so not true. I've spoken hours with this lady. Not true. Go.
The only way that I could think about it was, I have to provide some context, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. If I'm going on long road trips, say Wellington to Auckland, which is what, 7.5, 8 hours.
Yep.
Instead of putting on a playlist that I've curated, I put it on shuffle, and I listen to every genre of music, like literally everything.
Yep.
So I just put it on shuffle for everything, and you're not allowed to change the song. You must listen to everything in its entirety. Right. I don't know why I created that rule. I just made it up for myself, and that's been the rule forever. The way that I would describe my relationship with work would be somewhat similar to that, where you're on your long journey and you must enjoy or suffer through every single song that comes on, because you can't skip it, and then that song's over and then the next one plays, and you kind of repeat that until you get to where you're going. So that's probably how I would describe it, just living through it, I guess.
And I love it, there will be people from other places. We're in New Zealand, and from Auckland to Wellington, like Ritia said, it's about 7 hours or so.
Yeah.
And it feels forever when you drive. I did that drive maybe 3 times since I'm here.
Yeah.
You must have done it many other times.
A lot of times, yeah.
And it feels like forever. It's a beautiful, beautiful drive, but at the same time, it's just like it feels so slow. Mm-hmm. I love that analogy. That's really good. At the same, I think that the same might be reversed as well, where you go, you find songs that you go, oh, either I haven't listened to that forever and it's just such a great memory, or you go, oh, this is a new song that I didn't know about these people, or something like that. And it's just really good. So
otherwise I find that I just skip through songs trying to find the one that I want in my head, but I don't know what it is yet. And then you just spend the whole time skipping, and then you don't even listen to anything.
And putting you on the spot a little bit more, what would be an example at work of not specifics, but something like it?
Yeah. So I think being in a sales role, there are lots of peaks and troughs in how things go. So sometimes things go really well, sometimes go really badly. You just try to kind of get through, but there's no project end, if you like. We're constantly circling through similar processes with many plates in the air all at the same time. So I think some of it is more around some songs you love and you're excited and things are going well if you relate that back to work, and then some songs you're like, ugh. I've listened to the song a ton or whatever, maybe that's your constant forecasting.
Whatever that means.
And then sometimes you're like, oh, I hate this song. And then maybe that's a deal that you worked on for 3 years and lost. So it's a bit, you just take what you're given, but at the same time, you can't dwell on it too much. You just go to the next thing. Thank you.
I love it. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your journey in the industry, from the mental health perspective, the things that you endured throughout these 15 years, and what are the things that stuck with you that you go, man, how is it that we're still going through these things? And it can be either mental health or situations where you go back home, because it happens to me. You get back home and you go, that just happened.
Yeah.
Did that really happen?
Yeah. No, it's been interesting. I think I've not encountered many other women on the customer side in my career. There's lots of other vendors within the channel. There seems to be more women within the industry, but at customer sites within their IT teams, I think I could probably count on one hand how many female customers I can talk to in my role at the moment. So I think on any given day, I spend the bulk of my time with men kind of 40 to 60 years old. So, which is not bad, it just is the reality. So I think that's been a real learning in terms of the differences in how we behave and how we operate, what their expectations are of dealing with salespeople, what their expectations are of women in the industry. I think I've found that I've had to consistently prove that I know what I'm talking about, which is fine, and I can do that. But it's an additional challenge that I didn't anticipate having. Fine. Unfortunately. Unfortunately,
the reality. You don't want to say it, but I'll say it is not okay.
No, it's not okay. You're right. But yes, I mean, I've had a few meetings just this week, and you kind of go into the room, and you can see on everyone's faces like, oh God, what's she gonna say? And then we start talking, and they start to ask questions, and then they go, and then they said at the end, oh, you really knew a lot about that. And I was like, yes, like that's literally my job. I would hope that was the case, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it very well.
And you're not seeing that with men in the room, like when it's men speaking in the room?
No, so literally so many examples in my life where I can say something, it's not really accepted or acknowledged by the room, but my male counterpart can say the exact same thing, exact same words, and everyone goes, oh yes, that's a really good idea. And I'm just sitting there going, did no one hear me?
Am I saying this out loud?
Yeah. It's happened a lot of times, and still continues to happen. So it happened when I was in my 20s, it still continues to happen now. I don't know how to get around that.
How does that hit you? Because it's got to be a part of you
it's frustrating.
When you get home, and it's just like,
why?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, like what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is really frustrating. It gets a bit tedious at times. But like I said earlier, I'm just really firm on things now. So I will call out that sort of thing now when that happens, instead of in the past I would have just been like, oh, that's annoying. Or I would thank my male counterpart for like doing that. But then I started to say, actually, you should have said, if that happens again in the future, Ritia just said, and then say the thing, because then you're kind of like taking credit for what I just said as your own thing.
Yeah.
And they were doing it because they did hear me, and they wanted the room to acknowledge what was said. But in the way that they did it, just kind of absorbed it themselves as their own thing. So I was like, it would be good if you could point everyone back to me, even if you can answer the question, just so that I don't get passed over or ignored.
Be an ally as opposed to a translator.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's really frustrating. I don't know if that will ever end. I've spoken to other women in the industry who've been in it for 30 odd years or so. Similar experiences. Hopefully that starts to change eventually, maybe over time. But again, as I said, once I've proven myself, if you like, then they start to kind of listen a bit more to what I'm saying. But it's that prove yourself first kind of element that I didn't anticipate ever really having to have. But I don't know that that's specific to our industry. I don't think it is, actually. I'm going through renovations at home, and quite often they'll say, well, is your partner here? Can I talk to him? Do you want to wait for your partner to be home? And I'm like, I don't have a partner, and I bought this house.
That is so true, and it happens at so many levels. So we would go to Bunnings, my wife and I.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I think I said this before in other episodes. For the life of me, if my life depended on it, I cannot do things with my hands. Like I'm horrible, IKEA is my worst enemy.
Right.
I cannot put things together. I cannot do, so I'm not the one who understands what a screwdriver is, right? Unless it is for a computer. But other than that, I just don't.
Yeah.
We would go to Bunnings and she'd be like, I'm looking for, I don't know, a saw, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And we would go, person, male, 99% of the times, will come and ask us what we need, start talking, we say we're looking for this thing, and he would straight up talk to me.
Yeah.
Not even look at her.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, yeah, but what can you do if you do blah, 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 or if we need to do blah, blah, blah. And he'll look at her and then look at me again and go, yeah, because what you do is that...
Exactly.
And I must confess, I did not notice it that much when I was younger.
Yeah.
But as we grew up, I look at her now and I'm like, can you talk to her? She's asking you.
Yeah.
It must be incredibly frustrating. And I don't know, I go through life being a man. So that's very different view from my perspective. And I can only imagine, so it must be super, super, super frustrating.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that we're doing that to you.
You don't need to apologize. Just, I don't know. I don't know if it's kind of just the way things have always been, or if it's kind of a generational thing. We might see a shift in that over time as that's phased out. We will see, I guess.
Oh, call it out and talking more about it. I think it's just a really good start.
Yeah.
Okay, so that happens, still happens. Mm-hmm. And I go back to that must affect you when you get home and you feel the burn of it. Do you have anything that grounds you, and anything that you get home and you go, these are the things and these are the reasons and these are my earth grounding things?
I don't know that I have grounding things. I think I just have distractions. So like I go home, I have a 3-year-old son, and then he's all encompassing. So the work stuff just kind of gets pushed into its little work box, and then you become mum and you do mum things. So I have good distractions to take away from whatever frustrations or whatever's going on at work, because you just can't, there's no room for that.
The terrible trees, right?
Yeah. He's full on, he's full personality, he wants to play and he wants to do things. You've got to do other mum responsibilities like make dinner and bath and bed and all that sort of stuff. So as soon as kind of 5 o'clock rolls around, that hat comes off and mum hat comes on, and then you do that. So that's been good, again, from that boundaries perspective, because I literally can't sit there and work, and he's just going to look after himself. So that's been good for that boundaries. I have got better at going outside, so I would just sit and work all day. And then
I'll edit this laugh out because that is so fun. Oh, maybe I won't.
No, leave
Better
it.
at being out. I love that.
People saying go outside and touch grass.
Yeah.
Like, that's so important.
Yeah.
So, my colleague now will quite often say, like, he's out in his garden, he said, go outside and go for a walk. I'm like, that's a good idea. And I actually do some of my best thinking and everything when you're outside and moving. Mm-hmm. But I would never prioritise that previously, but now I'm like, I need to go outside and touch some grass.
But that's
move around a bit. So maybe that's my grounding thing as well.
Touching grass.
Yeah.
It is quite fundamental, right? So it's just I say this on every episode. I'll say it again. I am no expert. I have no academic qualification on mental health, more than a first aid training that we did a couple of years ago. So I don't really know, other than what people constantly say. And all the people that I've interviewed, we all go back to do something that you love at least once a day, do some physical activity and stuff like that. So I think I agree with you. I love the fact that you understand that you have to become this other thing when you're not at work, and then it's just like that it is different. A lot of people don't have those boundaries, right? So we live in this age where people work until 10 p.m. and they just have dinner sitting at the desk and stuff like that. So it's just that's really good. Okay, so you touched on how you would physically feel this the stress, and I would assume, based on what you said, that it doesn't happen that often anymore?
No. You can kind of start to feel feel it coming on, I think.
What are
more
those
easily.
things? What are those signs that you see?
So for me, I get insomnia is probably the first thing, because I'll sit up at night and I'll be thinking about all the things that I need to do, and that's kind of my first flag that something's not right and something's unhealthy. Then from there, and it's probably stemmed from a lack of sleep. I'm no medical expert, but I have had eczema my whole life, but then I can start to see eczema flare-ups on my hands or on my face, and it's always very visible, and I'm like, stop, I need to stop something. So back when it was really bad and I didn't really realise what was happening, I thought I kind of had the really bad flu, and I was so burnt out and so exhausted that I had to take time off and to rest and recover. But what I realised that if you just rest and recover a little bit all the time, then you don't have to take big chunks of work off, which is actually caused me more stress, because then it's more time.
Yeah.
So it just kind of is this big kind of compounding issue. So as soon as I start to feel that kind of coming on, I halt everything and I make sure that my boundaries are back in place. I'm not pushing too hard, not getting too worked up over things that aren't actually that important in the grand scheme of life. Just reassessing my priorities and making sure that I'm doing what I should be doing for me first, because otherwise I'm no good to anybody else.
When you start recognizing these things and you start seeing these things and you say, I feel them, I recognize them, what do you do to stop the thing that is actually causing it? Because a lot of people out there will be like, yeah, but tomorrow, that email tomorrow needs to go out anyways, right?
Yeah.
And it happens to me. I a couple of days ago, I didn't sleep until like 4 a.m. in the morning because of a thing that I had to do the next day.
Yeah.
I was super stressed about. But the thing had to be done the next day. And you know, do you have any strategies, any tools, any things that you do that you go, it's 3 a.m. in the morning, sleep?
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
No, it's not. It's hard. If it is causing me a lot of stress, I will get up and I'll do it then. Or I'll try and like nip it in the bud earlier so that it's just over, and then I don't drag it out anymore. But I think for me, it is, I talk to my friends who work in healthcare, who are teachers, who have what I consider to be more important jobs with real outcomes that impact at such a bigger scale than whatever I'm doing. And it just, I don't want to minimize anybody else's stress, but for me, I'm going, no one's going to die. I don't have to tell anybody's family any awful news. I didn't have to watch a child come to school with no food and no clothes on, and no shoes in the middle of winter. Like, those sort of things are just far more important than an angry customer that I need to call the first thing in the morning. So I just talk to them, they tell me about their days, and I just prioritizes what I'm doing and what I feel like is important and what contributing to the world. And nothing that I do is that important, I don't think, in comparison. So I just kind of reprioritize in my mind, think, well, no, this isn't actually that big of a deal. And my stress is kind of self-inflicted. And if I kind of decentralize it or take some of the pressure off that particular activity by making sure I'm looking at how it stacks up in consideration of everything else, it's not that big a deal. It's not that deep. It's actually okay.
Do you think, so it sounds a lot like you look for perspective?
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Right. Whoa. Is there a cognitive dissonance in you when you get to that space and you go, this is not as important as the other thing that your medical friends or healthcare friends are doing?
Yeah.
Where you go, I'm trying to get at, does that affect you at any level when you go, oh, this is not that important?
Yeah,
Because I had that, and I can tell you that story later on once you tell me about this. That dissonance, you go, oh. And how do you manage that gap so you don't go, no, nothing is worth it?
That's true. It's very short-lived, I think, that distancing. I definitely do get it. I'm like, what is the point of anything? Why are we here? But yeah, no, I think it just helps with kind of putting in perspective how I put pressure on things. But it's still very important what we're doing. So I think it just helps with me going, it's okay, there is no like life or death situation in this event. Like my body's acting like I'm going to die, like in flight mode, and that survival mode. You're not actually in that situation, and you just kind of, I think that perspective helps kind of reassess where you're at, and then you can continue on, but without the heaviness that can lead to burnout and lead to any of the symptoms that I have. But yeah, the dissonance is a real thing.
but I love that, because it just dropped for me, the penny, when you said, it's just to put it in perspective, and it's not that I don't matter, that what I do doesn't matter, but it means that my body is telling me that I'm dying when I'm actually okay. I'm safe. That's something that I don't know if you've done therapy.
Yes.
One of the things that I've been told numerous times is, this is a reaction that your body is having. It's a reaction that you just need to try to label it and control it and go, I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm safe. Nothing's happening to me. This is shit. I've had panic attacks many times, and it's just that feeling of, fuck, I'm dying here.
Yeah.
When it's actually recentering yourself. But that's super interesting.
Yeah.
I remember. I can't even remember what year it was. 2018 must have been. I can't remember. A year. We were both working together.
Yes.
And I was in this field readiness thing that we used to do once a year. It was about 700 people.
Yeah.
Give or take. In a massive room, and then someone was talking about something. I don't even remember what it was. And I remember going, if someone does this and we all disappear, I reckon the world would not change dramatically. Yeah, people would suffer. There's a lot of people who would go, oh fuck, we lost this and that, and this person, and I love them so much. But at the same time, it's just like, what we do sometimes feels unimportant. And it's that, for me at least, recentering myself into it's not about the importance, it's about the value that we bring to the world at a different level. And that's when I started trying to see my work from a perspective of, yes, but we move this teeny tiny thing here so that healthcare person can actually have an x-ray in time and shit like that. And that sort of changed the perspective for me. Still feel the stress, and I still had, after that, panic attacks and then very, very deep depressive episodes. But yet, when I think back to that moment, I don't feel that way anymore. And I think it's a shift in the way that you see it.
I've been working with healthcare for probably about the past 4 years, and it's so difficult to work with. But it's so rewarding when we actually achieve something. But yeah, it is exactly that. We're helping to enable healthcare for people to get the outcomes that they need, and that's important to remember. We're still helping, we're just not frontline staff.
And we're not dying, absolutely.
And we're not dying.
So, moving away a little bit of the uncomfortable position of talking about yourself, how do you see mental health in the industry? I have this view. I try to introduce this question a little bit more, so I give context. I have this view that we don't talk about it enough. I have this view that there's a lot more that we should be doing, that people want to normalize these conversations, but at the same time they fear that it'll be seen as weakness, or they'll be seen as something that we shouldn't talk because of this or that. So my view is that we should talk a lot more about that. And a couple of people have told me, no, this is not, we talk a lot.
Right.
If you compare it to other industries who literally don't talk at all. And again, you go to the perspective bit, right? So it is what it is. But I'm curious about what your view is and what you feel about it, and in the context of being a woman and what you told us about before.
Yeah, I think it's definitely improved over time. I think there is more chat about it. I've had some really incredible managers in my career so far, where they've been really supportive of people's mental health and making sure if you need a day, take a day. If you've got family things, they're the priority, they're what's important. I think it really matters how you engage with kind of the seniority in your business and how they are, because that can kind of make or break your role, really. Equally, I've worked with some really horrible managers who make life really awful, and then ultimately your mental health suffers. So I think there are just some people who really get it, and they understand and they prioritise that. Some really good companies as well that have put in place like wellness days, so that you can take some time away, have a break, go out and volunteer, do something else, because they recognise the value in doing that. I think more companies, unfortunately, in recent times, there's been a shift away from the importance of DEI and the importance of kind of making sure that there is that time and emphasis put on wellness. But some organisations have really kept that going, and that's, I think, valuable. They tend to have, I think, less attrition, I think. So that's improved. But I think in terms of general mental health, you still see, I've worked with multiple people over recent years who have passed away really suddenly from heart attacks and things like that, which is so awful. Obviously don't know that it's stress related, but it just seems to be relatively common in this industry. So hopefully we see more uptake of things like wellness days, or like management putting more emphasis on wellness, so that we start to prevent those sorts of burnout type medical events, I guess, if they have stress induced or whatever. But yeah, talking about it is really important. Continuing to place a lot of emphasis on mental health, recognising burnout when you can. There's other things that float around a bit, which I don't know how to feel about, like imposter syndrome. That was created based on white women over the age of 40. Does that apply to everybody, or is it kind of an all-encompassing term because you feel like you don't belong in a certain environment? But could it also be attributed to racism or bigotry or xenophobia or something else that actually is a real thing in that environment, but you're like, I don't feel like I should be here, I feel like an imposter, but really there's actually other people who are making you feel really uncomfortable being in that room.
Right.
So I think there's a bit of that I kind of like, is it that, or is it something else? How are we doing on that sort of front? Because as I said before, you walk into some rooms and they're not super excited to talk to a woman. They would rather not do that. So am I an imposter for what reason?
And that's
in that
before
situation?
They know you have a Maori background.
Yeah, it's worse. I'm a single mum. It's even worse. My God. I did get told once that I was a, what did they call it? An easy diversity hire. Because I tick the boxes for being Pacific Islander, a woman, but I
don't know if I should laugh,
speak
if I should
really good
cry,
English.
if I should bang the table.
Yeah, they're like, your English is really good. I was like, thank you, it's the only language I know.
Like they say that to me a lot, and I got used to it. Like 13 years here, and you hear that you say 3 words, and like, oh, your English is really good. Okay, fair is my second language.
Yeah.
But to you,
I only know one.
exactly.
I grew up in Wellington.
yeah.
I hope it's good. It's the only one I've got.
I understand you. That should be fine. Oh man.
So, yeah.
But that's such an interesting point, because my imposter syndrome is pretty horrible. I've gotten better at recognizing when it's just me that I'm feeling that way because of I'm out of my depth. Someone is talking about business lingo, or I'm horrible at financials. So financial lingo, and I go, and I feel like I should be here, but I need to learn so much. But in many other occasions, I really recognize that it's just people making you feel that way. And in my case, it's 80% of the times racism or xenophobia. I don't know if it is racism, whatever it is, the fact that I'm not from here, the fact that I don't speak the language in the same way, that I have a strong accent, and so on. And I've gotten better at recognizing that, and I've gotten better at going, this is not about me. What you are saying right now and the way that you're making me feel has a lot less to do with my accent than you and why you're putting this energy out there. But that's absolutely true, and I do wonder. It's all interconnected in my head, anyways. Because you go, if you're making me feel this way, it affects my mental health, anyways. So we are still suffering from the same thing, irrespectively. But it's a good way of putting it as well. Interesting. All right, thank you. I'll ask you one last question. If you could whisper in the whole industry, from the most junior person to the most senior person, whisper in their ears before they start their workday tomorrow, it can be anything, what would that be?
Oh, it's so hard. I don't know if it should be a nice thing or be like more of a work.
Hence why I said it can be anything. Because it doesn't have to be inspirational either.
I think we can say nice things, but I'm going to go with, you don't know everything, and you should talk to other people about things all of the time. I think my biggest frustration is people coming and going, I know everything about everything. You know, AI is not that mature of a solution. And then you've got everyone on LinkedIn saying AI expert. I'm like, since when? Is anybody an expert? But just use it as an example. Talk to people, find out more. There's lots of things that other people know that you don't know. There's lots that we can always learn from other people, but I think everyone's very closed off and not really communicating as much as they used to. There used to be a lot of events we kind of go and network, and there still are a few. But go and talk to somebody else outside of your normal realm and try and learn something from them. There's so much going on in this industry. You can't know it all.
You don't know everything.
You don't know everything. We know very little about a lot of things. So go out and chat to somebody else. Don't assume that you know it all.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to share to the world for people to walk away and go and, or not, or just, anything?
I don't know. I think there are lots of people asking for help. There's lots of people looking for work. There are lots of people who need help with CVs, who need to get out of the house, who need to have coffee, who need to do something. I would just say, please reach out to somebody else if you want to do those things. Please reach out to me. Anybody that I know, if I can put you in touch with someone, please sing out. Been helping people with writing CVs and a whole bunch of things, income expectations. I think there's just lots of help that people need, given the current state of the economy. don't be afraid to reach out to other people. As I said before, talk to them, find out more, and then you might be able to help someone on their journey in some way.
Thank you. It's not a weakness asking for help.
No,
right? It's the first
not at
step of getting better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Rita. It's been a huge pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.